And here we are. Good morning, Tim and Matt, on our wonderful little sports podcast where we always go off topic. All right. So let's get going today. We've got lots to talk about. The big thing out of Toronto Blue Jays land is a young woman named Liz McGuire who went to see a game and was, I don't know, minding her own business, enjoying it until Bobo Bichette stepped up the plate and hit a foul ball, which then connected on her forehead about a half a second later. And honestly, I don't know how this woman's still alive.
Wow. I mean, and I guess she sat down and kept watching the game. Like, she was like, ouch, and watched the game. And it was the people around her like, look at your forehead. Like, you know.
Somebody must have run up and given her an ice pack or something.
So they must have.
Yeah.
She said they were really good to her.
Yeah.
And then here you go. Here's the picture after the fact. But I think one of the things that, you know, they gave her that. They gave her a couple, after the fact, they gave her a Bo Bichette signed ball.
Yeah.
A couple of tickets to another game.
Okay. Yeah, they hooked her up.
Yeah, VIP treatment, the whole 9 yards.
I just don't understand how she was able to stay in her seat and finish the game. I mean, that is like one of the worst concussions you'll ever see.
She must have had a headache, I tell you.
I mean, to hit here, right on the... I mean, if she hits her in the temple, she's dead.
Yo,
right?
100%.
Like, that is insane. The look... Anyway, so now the Jays hooked her up.
Yeah.
Gave her a bunch of stuff, which initially this only came out on social media.
Yes.
And I'm like, did Toronto do anything for her? Because everyone's just bagging, maybe she should pay attention more to games. That ball left his bat and hit her forehead in the same instant. Like, there's nothing you can do. But the cool thing about this is she's got her own baseball card now, like the B guy.
Like the B guy.
They've given her own baseball card. So Topps has given her own Liz McGuire baseball card.
There it is there.
The ball left the bat at 110 miles an hour. So they're issuing 110 baseball cards. And the cool thing is she's keeping a few for family and friends and stuff. But most of them she's going to autograph and she's going to auction them off. Yeah. And they're going to go to charity.
Children's Hospital concussion research.
Yeah.
Which I think is perfect. And she's definitely got a concussion.
I don't know how she's alive.
Yeah.
I am dumbfounded how she is alive. Like, that is just remarkable. And they're talking to her after the game with this big chestnut. And she's just like chatting away, like, oh yeah, I've got this massive welt in the side of my head and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh my God.
But and here's the funny thing is, you know.
The funny thing.
What I find funny is, you know, you think with a hit in the head it knocks some common sense into it, but apparently she's still a Jays fan.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Been waiting all week for that one.
Wow.
All week for that one. That's what he's been waiting for.
You figured knock some sense into her.
Oh, there it is. So, hey, lots of fun.
I mean, if we could transition to, do the Jays still suck?
Yeah.
And the answer to that question is
yes,
a resounding yes.
Just got hammered by Detroit. They did okay against, who are they playing? Chi Sox.
Yeah.
And then they did okay against, they got another game against Detroit today. But they're the weakest teams in the league.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, and they're doing you know, as soon as their best pitcher comes up, they score no runs.
And if you look at it, they're still sitting pretty close to 500. They're 23-27. So, and it's a long season.
I know, but they should be a little bit. They should be a lot better than that.
They should be, but
a lot better than that. What are your Dodgers doing?
They're at 33-20. They're killing it. They've lost the last three though.
Back up Baltimore. You want to see a record? Look at Baltimore.
Oh, they're just disgusting, eh? Actually, the Yankees, 36-17, are above Baltimore.
Oh, really? Okay.
And 18. So it's pretty tight. I mean, like, here, let's go to the overall standings. And I think the Yankees are running away with that. Oh, no, the Phillies. 37-15. They're running away with it right now.
Yeah.
The Dodgers are sitting in 6th overall. Like,
they're fine.
You know.
You guys are fine.
When you're looking at the big picture.
But, I mean, let's look at the big picture in another context. Philadelphia and Baltimore had some horrible seasons before they got to this season.
Yeah.
They ate some pretty bad seasons.
Yeah.
Made some savvy draft picks. Philly went for Bryce Harper, which is now starting to really pay off.
Really pay off, yeah.
A kid who was once featured in the New York Times is the reason why you don't push your kids so hard.
Yeah.
His dad was pushing him pretty hard and stuff, but, you know, he succeeded. 1 in a million. But, getting off topic. But anyway.
Yeah.
What do you do?
that.
What do you do? All right, so the Canucks.
The heartbreaker.
Honestly, before Game 7, the news drops. Brock Boeser's out for the season with blood clots in his leg.
Yeah.
There's only so much adversity you can overcome for a Game 7.
Third string goaltender, losing your star player. Like, he was the spark plug out there. I get it. He may not be the best player on the team, but he brings the most heart to the
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's like you said, he's the energy.
Yeah.
Right? He's the energy as I hold my piece of my apple slice. The thing about Vancouver, though, the important thing is this isn't the twilight. This is the beginning, not the end.
And yeah, I mean, Tonkett, their coach, won the Jack Adams Award.
Oh, yeah, he's not going anywhere.
Because they went from being an afterthought to being a contender this year, you know.
It's the end of the beginning for Vancouver. So you got a lot of good seasons ahead of you.
Yeah.
Playoff losses is a fact of life, and even Gretzky lost, you know.
Yeah.
So Tom Brady lost. So it just takes time.
It does.
And God love the Edmonton Oilers are
on fire.
On fire.
Yeah.
So there you go. They lost to Dallas.
They beat Dallas in overtime. So, and I gotta paint a picture for you. So we went camping last week, right?
Like an artist.
You're like an artist. Yeah.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
He's Bob Ross. We went camping on last Wednesday. So Thursday night, the game's on. We get, my wife had to work Thursday, picked her up. We go back out there, we picked up some food. We set up the iPad. And
where were you? Where were you camping?
Shayla's.
Okay, yeah. Do you get Wi-Fi up there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we get data. So we get the iPad out, stream the game. We're watching it on the iPad.
Okay.
And it was funny because other people were doing it that had better setups than that.
Oh, of course.
But ours seemed to be ahead of everybody.
Oh, we better streaming.
Yeah. So we got a score. We're like, yeah. And then like 45 seconds later, down the way we hear, yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's a long delay. 2 minutes later, across from us, they're like, yeah. Holy smokes.
You want to know something funny? Sorry. Jays were in Detroit yesterday, and they had a full power outage.
Yeah.
So they had to jerry-rig everything. So Dan Schulman and Buck Martinez called most of the game off their cell phone.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so they're on their cell phone. So they got Bally Sports. They got the live feed.
Yeah.
And they're on their cell phone calling it. And the funny thing is there was a delay. So the guy hits the ball, and there's a bit of a murmur from the crowd because of Detroit, no one's there. And then 2 seconds later, through the cell phone, you hear the crack of the bat. And like, it was really funny. Yeah. And they finally got back into the booth and stuff. It was really neat. It was really good on the way they did it.
Well, the Canucks won Thursday night's game.
Yeah.
So and it was, everybody's excited, kind of hot, horns going, right? The one Alberta guy's getting eggs thrown at him, right? No.
The one non-sports fan's trying to have a quiet weekend camping. So much for that.
So Saturday, it's the talk of the day. And the talk was, everybody's coming by us, like, what are you using to get that fast stream? Like, right, you're so far ahead of us, right? So I used to talk to them, but I actually pulled out the inverter, got the TV set up, got my Surface tablet set up.
Okay.
And was streaming it to the TV editor site. Well, we had a packed site.
Oh,
because
nice.
Nobody wanted to wait that 45 seconds.
No, of course not.
You know? And one guy was telling me he was watching it on his phone with TELUS, and it was 4 minutes behind. But what we figured out is I use Rogers.
Okay.
Right? And the Infinite app. And what it does is, like, if it buffers, it just skips to the next part. Like, it's live. Right?
Oh,
so you miss, like, you jump a bit. Right?
But you're not waiting for the circle of death.
TELUS buffers and stores it. So as they're buffering a few times throughout the game, right, it's storing it up. So the guy ended up actually 4 minutes behind the feed. Like, well, that's a lot of buffering.
I remember when 9/11 went down, there's shots of the CIA guys. They storm into Afghanistan. And they're in the middle of the Afghan desert or the mountain or whatever. And they're on their laptop. And hooked up to it is like this little satellite thing. And it's like the classical, looks like the inverted umbrella.
Yeah.
And he's like on the internet he's got the big rifle behind him, and they got the, scars over their head, keep the dust out. And he's working away. I'm like, oh, wouldn't that be great? You sort of take one home after work one day, and you're out camping with your friends, and you got it hooked up to the top of your car, and you're like checking whatever you want on the internet, and it's perfect, World Wide Web. Some $150,000 antenna courtesy of the U.S. government.
So there is a somewhere that you can get this device that wherever you are, you'll get service. It's a satellite service.
Okay.
I don't know that it's like Skynet from Terminator or something, something like that. But we were like, oh, maybe we should look into that because we camp a lot in the fall.
Right.
And football's on Sundays. So I like to watch football. And it's like $600 for the device and $170 a month for the service. I'm like, I'll get updates on my phone. Thanks.
I'll get updates on my phone.
Yes. So,
okay.
next.
Canucks season over. Champions League's coming up. I'm not a big soccer fan. I don't watch club play, but Champions League is worth tuning into. And the nice thing about Champions League this year, it's Sunday the 1st, and then about a week or two later, the European Championship starts. So this is a bit of a tune-up.
Right.
Now we have Dortmund going up against Real Madrid. Dortmund is from Germany. Apparently they have an excellent defense. I hear this from my coworkers who live and breathe soccer. But Real Madrid is an absolutely superb franchise, and their business model is built around winning Champions League.
Right.
Now, Champions League is the top private club in Europe. So all the clubs, I don't know how you qualify. I don't know all the details. But during qualifying, Brighton will play against Juventus, and then, Ajax will play against Paris Saint-Germain, and it all comes down to the semifinals, and then you get to the Champions League's final. This is a global event.
Yeah.
1 billion people will watch this game. Soccer is just global. And Real Madrid just focuses on how to win Champions League. They've won about 7 or 8 times. And just to give you an idea how hard it is to win this, because whenever the NHL playoffs start, Stanley Cup, the hardest trophy to win, not even close. Champions League is impossible. When you mention European football, most people will say Sir Alex Ferguson and Manchester United.
Yeah.
Right? That was the big brand for many years.
Yeah.
He won it 1 time in his entire career. He ran Man U for 25 years. He won Champions League once. That's how hard it is to win this trophy.
And I get that. I mean, it's tough because you got a lot of competition out there. You got a lot of parity in the competition. And you got people, you get a lot of sticking together and working, building that chemistry and making a run at it.
Right.
I get it. It's tough to win. The reason that they say the Stanley Cup's the hardest to win is because you have to win 4 out of 7 games against an opponent.
Yeah.
4 times.
I know, but
that's what makes the Stanley Cup the hardest one to win.
That's all they're doing though. Right? Yeah. Because when you're qualifying for Champions League, you're also playing your regular season games. Yes. You're also pulling your top players off to go for qualifying for World Cup and for Euro.
Yeah.
They're just playing chronic soccer. Yeah. Working these schedules around the regular season schedule. It's pretty nuts. But Champions League is a really exciting event because that's really what it is. And tens of thousands of people. And it's you sort of bid to host Champions League. Yeah. So it's not in either Dortmund or Madrid. It's in, some neutral site somewhere.
Yeah.
And all the fans from both teams and soccer fans just descend on this. It's this, big, long party culminating in the final game. And David Beckham won it. I watched a documentary. I was off sick all week, so I just streaming. That's all you do because you have no energy to do anything else. On Prime, there's something called May 99. It's a documentary, 3-part documentary.
Right.
About Manchester United in 1999 winning what's called the treble.
Yeah.
So they won the Premiership, which is just basically most points in the league. They won the FA Cup, which is top team in England, and then they won Champions League, all within 10 days of each other.
Yeah.
So sort of one on the Monday, and then won the other one on the following Tuesday or something.
Jeez.
And they won it. The crazy thing is, Man U they lost their two of their top players for red cards.
Right.
They got fouls, and it's like, okay, you can't play in the final now, get out of the game. So they had to readjust their midfield. Yeah. And they had a bunch of guys playing out of position, and it was just weird. They couldn't get it going. And they're down 1-0 with 3 minutes to go, and that dour, pig-headed Scotsman, Sir Alex, finally adjusts his midfield for guys playing inside their own normal positions. Yeah. And they won it in extra time in the dying seconds of the game. It was the most exciting thing you'll ever see in your life. And David Beckham just commenting, goes, I'll never get that feeling again.
No.
For all his experience, everything he's done in his career, I'll never get that. Just sitting on the pitch with nothing left in the tank, and it's finally over, and you won the top prize you've dreamed about your entire life. And it was just really, really exciting stuff. So yeah, next Sunday, I try to get a coworker to come in to talk about it a bit more, but no dice. Everybody's busy, and I don't want to go TV. So yeah. But anyway, Champions League, check it out. It's fun.
Soccer was on, so he didn't want to
No, it's not on. He's golfing or something. I can't remember.
Golfing. The golf. All right. So let's move on to the CFL preseason starts.
Guardian caps. So what's the deal with the Guardian caps?
Okay. So the Guardian caps are a padded helmet, I guess you could call it.
On top of your helmet.
Yeah, it goes on top of your helmet. It's padding on top, and it's supposed to prevent concussions. So here we go. I've got a Guardian cap here. They use them in practice to cut down on the number of injuries in practice.
Yeah, that's where most of the injuries in football happen in practice.
Yeah.
Ironic.
So because you're running half speed, you're not fully geared up, things like that, and it happens, right?
Yeah.
So the CFL announced this week that they're going to allow these to be worn in games as well.
Oh, really, eh?
Yeah. So I think where you're going to see them the most is going to be on the lines.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the Lions, like the BC Lions.
On the O&D line.
Yeah.
Jason Kelsey's announced he probably has CTE.
Yeah.
Right? So this isn't a bad thing. It doesn't affect the game. It doesn't change the way the game's played. This protects guys more.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is it doesn't. So, I mean, I think if we go to my laptop here quickly, we got a picture of them here with the...
I don't see it. There it is.
There it is. So these guys here, linemen, and they're wearing these caps in practice, and everybody wears them in practice.
Right.
But they're going to allow players to wear them. Now, you don't have to.
No.
And I know a lot of guys don't want to.
Who was the receiver? I think the special teams guy in the Buffalo Bills all those years ago it wasn't Tasker, that had the extra helmet on. It looked like everybody called him Kazoo.
Yeah, I remember too.
I can't remember his name. Yeah. You gotta protect your brain, man. I mean, you can function normally with a blown knee and a bad back and chop. But when you start getting those head injuries, your life can be really over.
Well, and that's the thing is it's the head injuries that they want to prevent. So, but I mean, but the nice thing is CFL preseason has started. So last Monday,
I can't get excited about CFL preseason.
You know what? It's exciting because there's football coming.
Yeah.
But today, if you want to catch some preseason, Ottawa and Hamilton are playing at 11. Edmonton and Saskatoon are playing at 1. BC and Calgary are playing at 1. And then 4:30.
Anything rookies to care about?
They don't do so much rookie stuff in the CFL.
Yeah, because there's no big draft pick. It's not like the NFL, right?
No, so they may get some rookie time.
Healthy snacks right here. Apple.
June 6th, the season starts. Montreal and Winnipeg.
There we go.
So that's
defending Grey Cup champion Montreal Alouettes. There you go.
Against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
The Bombers.
And then Sunday the 9th, in the afternoon, the Lions are playing Toronto.
Nice. Okay.
So
sweet. All right, let's go WNBA. LeBron stepped into the corner for Caitlyn Clark.
And the sad part is that he had to.
Yeah.
Because we got so many haters out there in the world today that
what do you want for this?
Yeah.
What team is she playing on? Is she playing on the best team in the league? No, of course not.
0-4.
Of course not.
So I think, is this just a picture or a video that we got here? I think it's just a picture.
That would be LeBron James.
That's a picture of LeBron.
Caitlyn looks great in the beard.
But he said, he says, I'm rooting for her because she's going to do great things for the league.
Yeah.
And now, this is the quote from it. There's a very small number of men and women that actually get to live out their dream of playing a professional sport. We have grown-ass men and women out there doing whatever they can to try to make sure that does not happen.
Yeah.
That is the weirdest thing in the world. But it is what it is, and I'm glad that Caitlyn has a great head on her shoulders.
Right.
And this is the thing, like, you've got people out there that are just throwing hate at them.
Well, it's like the woman that got hit in the head of the baseball. Oh, what the hell was she doing? Why was she paying attention? What do you know, dumbass? We're not even there.
Yeah. So
I know. People are going to hate. The haters are going to hate, and it drives me nuts. And you can't pay attention to it.
And then,
right?
Yeah, you can't. You got to drown out the noise because it is just that noise. And here's the best part about it is the day after that, Caitlyn Clark, WNBA News says, Caitlyn Clark has signed a multi-year deal with Wilson and will get a signature basketball collection.
Yeah.
Nice. Like, this is fabulous for young ladies who are playing basketball, seeing that there are opportunities out there. There's light at the end of the tunnel for them.
Yeah.
It's not that it's just going to be a pittance anymore. The people are watching. And it comes to the people like LeBron James, who I usually don't like listening to talk.
I like LeBron. I'm a LeBron fan.
He says some stupid stuff sometimes, right?
Everybody says some stupid stuff sometimes, but that guy, he's brilliant on the court.
Yeah.
And he gives huge off the court.
He does.
And that's what his activism off the court, I just absolutely, if something happens, an African-American gets shot by cops or something, I can't breathe. He's one of the first people out there. He doesn't care about his brand. He cares about issues. Right. That's what I love with LeBron James. He's not the smartest guy in the world, says some dumb things sometimes. Who doesn't? Like, please, all of us.
Yeah.
But, I like it for his activism.
I do too. Like, I do. I don't really watch basketball, so I can't say I'm a basketball fan or anything.
Yeah.
But there's been times where he says stuff and put his foot in his mouth.
Oh.
And the thing is, when you got a platform that big, he actually put a police officer in danger with one of his comments. So this was a year or two back. I was like, come on, man.
That's a dumb thing.
But that whole decision when he left Cleveland the first time, and they did a half-hour TV show on what his decision was going to be.
Is that him or is that his agent? Is that you know what I mean? Like,
no, I didn't watch it. I didn't care what his decision was. But,
You know what? That guy grew up with absolutely nothing. And he's back in Ohio.
Yeah.
And he went back to Akron and sat down with the school board and built an elementary school for kids already written off by the education system in elementary school. And he gave about $700,000 out of his pocket, teamed up, and he's literally, this elementary school is designed for the kids that are write-offs. And of course, they're just excelling thanks to him. And he's saving lives, changing lives. So you know what? He says some dumb things, but his actions, who he is as a person, speak volumes.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, but and I love the way he stepped up here. Yeah. He also talked about his son, Bronny, who's going into the draft this year. And people are hating on him already.
He's not, the problem with Bronny is he's not that good.
Well, but he's good enough that he's going to be in the NBA. He's good enough.
I would, like Wayne Gretzky's kids don't play hockey. Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. Like, I would hate it to be compared to well, you're not your dad.
Well,
of course not.
But he is good enough to be in the NBA. Yeah. There's teams looking at taking him. LeBron I think his contract's up this year, and he said he wants to play with his son. Yeah. So there's teams that are looking at, hey, if we draft him,
we might get LeBron.
We might get LeBron. So he might end up being the first overall pick because get that package deal on, right?
He should go second round.
Yeah. So I don't know. He should go second round. He wants the Lakers to take him. He'll play with Lakers another year, so him and his kid can play together for a year. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I think if you get that opportunity.
It's like in the NHL draft, Jerome McGinley's son.
Yeah.
There's a chance the Flames might be able to take him.
Yeah.
And that'd be so cool. And he's good.
Yeah.
Like, he's good.
Yeah.
And he's getting a little overhyped. He's, saying he's top 5 draft pick when he's probably more top 10. But yeah, that'd be pretty sick if he could go to Calgary.
Okay. But sticking with the WNBA.
Here's the reason you're fans.
Sticking with the WNBA is the amount of attention they're getting. Like they say there's no publicity is bad publicity, right? But the amount of attention they're getting. So the Dodgers bring in the 2 rookies for the LA team. And these beautiful young ladies,
just gorgeous,
go out and throw the first pitch together. And it's funny. Do we have a video for this?
We have the other photo though. There's one on yours.
I got the photo on here. But if we have the video on it, it's funny because two catchers.
First pitches. Here's a look at Cameron Brink and Rakia Jackson at the Dodgers game. Throwing out that first pitch. Practice today. After practice. And I started by walking backwards because my foot is about a foot. So it's 60 feet, 6 inches or something, right? So I don't know. I look stupid, but all in good fun, right? He's going to do great. She's going to do. Brink and Jackson take the mound, and Jackson, she was right. Brink threw a great. Jackson almost threw the same catcher, but.
And they're having, and that's beautiful thing. And it's the Sparks, the LA Sparks is the team that they're on. They're both rookies, and I think this is fabulous that this is getting out there for all the young ladies.
Oh yeah,
that are going into sports and the hockey.
Well, it's good for the sport because it's like, whoa, I'll go watch her. I went, my girl, Angel Reese, got to throw a pitch out at a Baltimore game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And they show her walking out of the dugout.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, go get him. All right. Congratulations. Do great. Like everybody's like cheering him on. It's like, it's great. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. But there's another clip we didn't have. Brock Purdy threw one out at a Giants game.
Right.
And Brock Purdy being Brock Purdy, he warmed up for like an hour in the parking lot. And he's just, casually tossing the ball and shoot into the glove. Like he's a short, 6 foot, 200-pound guy in the jeans, those massive legs.
Yeah.
And he steps up on that mound and he uncorked it, and just a casual throw at 82 miles an hour.
Jeez.
And it was off the plate a little bit because when you're on the mound, if you never throw off a mound before, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's not, but he just lines up and just corks it 82 miles an hour, and the catcher was like, that was hot. Like, that came in pretty hot. I was not expecting that ball to come at me that hot. And he's chatting with the guy, and they're both from small towns, and they're great. But this is wonderful. I love the WNBA. My girl Angel will be playing against the Seattle team. I'm trying to convince my wife to go down. She's like, really? I'm like, I go to theater. I go see your shows. I do this. That's for one thing. I'll go see one game down in Seattle. We like doing this. It's for women. It's not for me. For our daughter.
For our daughter.
Who just got back from Kamloops. Rachel's for Ultimate Frisbee.
Yes.
Didn't win any games. Didn't win any games, but they had some close games.
Yeah.
And she had a ton of fun.
Good.
Imagine High.
Good.
Imagine High School doesn't have a nickname yet, and they're all lobbying for the Imagine Dragons. Which is like, I think, a band or something, right? All the kids want to be Imagine Dragons. But okay. Let's go a little more serious now. Good old Harrison Butker.
This is cancel culture sucks. I honestly think cancel culture sucks. So I've watched his 20-minute video. Well,
I've read clips of it.
So I watched the whole thing.
Okay, good for you.
I watched the whole thing because if I'm going to talk about this, I got to actually know it.
All right.
Right. And the stuff on social media.
Yeah.
He doesn't say any of it.
Yeah.
Right. He doesn't want to tell women to get back in the kitchen. Take his shoes off and get back in the kitchen.
Right.
Right. He made a very good statement, in my opinion, where he congratulated the women on finishing their degrees.
Okay.
Right. And some of you are very looking forward to go up to your careers. Right. And you're really looking forward to that. And he goes, but some of you are the thing you're looking forward to mostly is being a wife and a mother.
Yeah.
Right. And people were up in arms about that statement. When did wanting to have a family and children become a bad thing?
Here's my take. First and foremost, Benedictine College, and I Googled it, is a Catholic university in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty conservative place.
Yeah.
It's a very, very faith-based. Most of their activities go around, there's pilgrimage to Rome, and they have, Bible study and all that. So it's a pretty conservative place. So if Harrison Butker is a kind of conservative Christian guy, this would be a safe place for him.
Yes.
All right? So he gets up, he gives a speech, he goes against, in vitro fertilization or something like that. And he says a few things that are maybe a little archaic in today's terms, and everybody freaks out.
Yeah.
Okay? But that's the environment that he was talking in, and their views of the school, because the school probably vetted the speech.
Oh, 100%.
So they knew what was going on. And of course, everybody freaks out.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got 2 points. Years ago, a friend of mine, he posts on Facebook, he goes off to Cuba.
Yeah.
And then when he's leaving Cuba, he, of course, the whole week, he's pictures and all this kind of stuff. He goes, I can't believe the Cuban people. Very loving, smiling, happy, in the face of oppression at home and abroad. Incredible, always ready for a party, a hug, the warmth, the love I got. And the punchline, I can't wait to get home to a bunch of people offended by words. It's just words.
And it is.
And he's not in any position of power. He doesn't influence any policy. He's the place kicker on the Chiefs. He's just making it. It's just words.
It's just words.
They're just words.
And he wasn't talking to you.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't talking to you. He was talking to people of like mind.
Yeah.
And the number one thing that I took from it, because the beginning of it is he lambastes the church itself. He just absolutely destroys the church itself and the church leaders and the chaos they've caused. And he talks about in COVID,
Yeah.
right? The church is shut down.
Yeah.
Right. And he talks about how the people in the church who spent years living in the leper colonies in Hawaii and administering faith and medical health and taking care of people, like that's where the church's ideals are.
Yeah.
It's not about being a celebrity.
No.
It's about giving.
It is.
It's about being humble. And so he really goes into that, which I thought was great.
There's church leaders in the U.S. that run these mega churches, and they're billionaires. They drive to work
billionaires. Yeah.
They drive to work at Ferraris and live in 5,000 or 10,000 square foot mansions.
Adulterous, just degenerate. But then he does make a comment about pride, and he goes, I'm not talking about the deadly sin that a month's dedicated to. So like he took a shot, but it's just kind of a backhand comment in a safe environment to make kind of backhand comment.
Sure.
I mean, we make a lot of jokes about religion. Yeah. Right? In a safe spot where we're not about religion.
Everyone's got their opinions. Okay.
Hey, you're allowed to crack jokes when you're the same-minded people.
Right.
And then he goes into, he starts talking about the men. And he talks about men define the toxic masculinity, staying in the home, and how absentee fathers and the crime rates and that sort of stuff. Yeah. And that's a fact. Yeah. He talks about a fact, and he tells the men to do the tough jobs. Don't do it because it's easy. Do it because it's tough. And I really like that part of his speech, because he's not wrong. It's so easy to pull the chute these days out of your commitments, out of your responsibilities. And you see it every day. Away. Yeah, just walk away. Start over. Yeah. No one's really going to hold you accountable for it, right? And I think him calling on the men that are leaving there and saying, be men, right? Yeah. Embrace your masculinity. Do the right thing. Not the easy thing, the right thing.
Yeah, okay.
Right? And I like that bit of it. You know, I'm not a religious person. I've never been a religious person. I'm very spiritual, but I'm not religious. I don't like organized religion. I don't like organized government.
I'm neither. My wife is a Christian. I find it kind of boring.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. They just didn't do anything for me.
Institutes don't impress me. I don't want to be institutionalized, right? But I'm a very spiritual guy, and you know, listening to the religious stuff of it, it seemed a lot of like cult-like and indoctrination and whatnot. But the points that they have in there have always been my points on religion. If you read the Bible, right, or even the Bible stories, they are filled with faith, they are filled with hope, they are filled with lessons in life that are still good today. Yeah. Right? But the story of Noah and the ark, right?
God said to Noah, build an arky.
The story of the Noah and the ark is almost as prevalent or realistic in my mind as Bruce Willis in Armageddon. Yeah. But that was once also a movie about saving circumstances and hope and one man giving to save many, right? Wow. They're almost identical. One was written, one was made on the big screen.
There you go.
You know, so you got to take those stories at a grain of salt. But what's wrong with having stories that give you hope, that give you
Rudy?
There's another one, right?
Rudy.
So like, I'm not a religious person, but so he got into some heavy TLM, right? Traditional Latin Mass stuff. And I was like, yeah, you're gone into
You lost me.
Right? Yeah. But here's where I find so cancel culture sucks.
Right.
Because right away that came out and people were online and they wanted him gone. Yeah. They wanted the Chiefs to fire him. They wanted everything gone.
It's the place kicker.
And the Chiefs turned around and are like, no.
Yeah.
No. He's entitled to his own opinion. He didn't say anything that was hateful or anything that a religious person wouldn't say at a religious college.
Yeah.
You know, a commencement speech at a religious college. Like, what's wrong here? Yeah. And you get like, Patrick Mahomes stood up for him.
Yeah.
Right? People across the board are standing up for him.
He's entitled to his opinion.
But 31,000 people signed a petition to have him canceled. Right? 31,000 people. I don't think 1,000 of those people watched that video from beginning to end.
No, of course not.
If they did, they wouldn't have signed them.
Let me give you an example of online petitions, okay?
Yeah.
2011, the riots break out in Vancouver.
Right.
And 35,000 people signed some online petition to show up the next day to help rebuild the city. Mm-hmm. And about 125 bothered to show up.
Exactly.
It's slackerism. It's bullshit. Nope. Okay, so here's my final point. on Benedictine. So I was curious about the university.
Right.
I saw a couple of clips and people kind of freak out. And it's like, for me, it's words. It's going to blow over.
Yeah.
The guy's a place kicker. It's not a big deal, right? And the owners do a lot worse than this. Tyreek Hill apparently has 30 kids with 5 different women.
Yeah. Something crazy.
So I Googled Benedictine College because I, of course, never heard of it. And it's a Catholic university in Kansas City. And it's really hard to get into. And it's really expensive to go there. And I'm thinking, I'm 22 years old. I've been killing myself doing my homework for 4 straight years on top of everything else I have to do in my life, getting my degree. I'm ready to take off. And my commencement speech, hey, look, they got the place kicker. Like they're sitting around with a whiteboard. Okay, so commencement speech, what do we got? Theologians, religious philosophers, Supreme Court justice, human rights advocate, someone working with the lepers in Hawaii. You know what? I kind of like the place kicker for the Chiefs. Stop drilling. We struck oil. We got the one guy that sits on the bench, gets up, kicks the ball off the tee, runs a little bit, sits back down again. This is the guy we need. By the way, stay in the kitchen. I mean, you couldn't have done a little better than that. You couldn't have gotten Mahomes. Could have gotten Travis Kelce chugging a beer. Yeah. Come on. The place kicker, that's the best you can do. Oh, Jesus. Just whatever. It's one speech at one school. Everybody just move on and get over it.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, it's crazy. But here's the funny thing is,
who cares? He's a place kicker.
So
the bowl boy wasn't available.
I love it when cancel culture swings and misses, though, because you get this petition, 31,000 people, right? And that goes nowhere. But his jersey sold out everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
It's now like the 3rd best-selling jersey of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Because, they can't keep up with the orders for it. Because everybody wants to wear it. Not because of what he said. Like I said, I doubt 100 people watched that video.
Yeah. I doubt anybody outside of KC even knew who the hell he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I never heard of him.
But he's got everybody so butthurt about this speech that now people want to walk in wearing a Butker jersey.
Oh,
yeah. And you can tell the jackasses are going to be like, yeah, woman back in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Right? Harrison said so.
Yeah. And women are like, no, you go.
So,
I'm going out for dinner. Have fun. There's food in the fridge. Knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Jersey sales is an interesting point because there was a player, top of my head, I can't remember his name. He came out as gay. He was playing for the Raiders.
Yeah, I remember who talking about.
Yeah, and then when he came out, he made the announcement, I'm gay, and his jersey went to number 1.
Yeah.
Right? It works both ways.
Yeah.
So jersey sales, I mean, people, oh, yeah.
It's people are so quick to judge it. And I mean, this goes back to the LeBron thing.
Yeah.
This is why I thought we should throw this in here, is because the LeBron thing is people are hating on Caitlyn Clark.
Yeah.
What has Caitlyn Clark done besides grew up playing basketball, got offered a scholarship, so went and played her ass off.
In Iowa.
Played her ass off in Iowa, had success, got drafted, and now is trying to make her way to the WNBA. And they got people are just ripping her apart.
She's got nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong.
She's never said anything even remotely controversial on and off the court.
And done nothing but work her ass off.
Yeah.
The effort level there, we should be applauding this young lady.
Yeah.
And not.
She's not a young lady. She's an athlete.
She's an athlete.
She's an athlete.
This young athlete. Who is just, and she's bringing attention to Angel Reese, Caitlyn Clark, the 2 ladies with the Dodgers there. Are bringing attention to this league where women are trying to have success, and
they're getting a lot of success,
and it's really, really working.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know what?
Weird things. The Ford Bronco sales went through the ceiling after the OJ chase.
Yeah,
people are just weird.
Yeah,
people are just strange. Some weird, obscure breed of dog mauled some poor soul to death, and everybody wants to buy one. It's like people are just bizarre. So you can't read too much into things like jersey sales and all that.
No, because like I said, I think the majority of it are people A, supporting him because,
And B, just trying to like, hey, look at me, I'm wearing a Butker jersey.
and you get atheists, right?
Yeah.
That will go out and buy his jersey and support him, not in what he said, but his right to say it.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
Free speech.
Because religion's not a crime either. And the way they put it out, religions don't like the LGBT community. Well, you know what? You guys probably don't like the religious people much either. So, back and forth.
Well, you know what? Most of the religions out there are embracing LGBT.
Yeah.
The young generation of Christians are very much like, my best friend's gay. Like, give me a break. It's fine.
Yeah.
They can get married. My life stays the same. There's an older, really small, vocal community inside. And Christian is broad.
Yeah.
Right? It's not just one church or another. It's like millions and tens of millions of people. The small vocal minority that everyone focuses on and whatever. Okay.
But it goes back to my, when I write my memoirs, right?
When you write your memoir, I'll read it.
Yeah, my one fan will read it. But it's going to be titled, Don't Be a Dick, right? Because it's simple enough. Mind your own business. Don't be a dick. And there's going to be a couple chapters on, youth sports in there.
Just a couple.
More than a couple.
I'll be on page 6. Don't be a dick. Example 1.
Yeah.
So I made this guide in community football.
I mean, and I'm always looked at it as like, are you hurting anyone? No. Right?
It hurts.
Is it adversely affecting me? No.
Yeah.
Then I have no opinion or right to an opinion on what you do.
Yeah.
Right? I don't care. Go do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Right?
But not hurting anybody. It's just words. So
Yeah. Don't try to force it down my throat.
Yeah.
And don't hurt anybody.
Yeah.
Kids and animals.
Keep your balls out of my yard. Okay. Okay. So NCAA, big announcement. They just won a class action lawsuit, $2.8 billion.
Yeah.
The details on this are really fuzzy because it just went to Supreme Court. And what they basically said is NCAA athletes can now get paid.
Yes.
And the one article I read, singular, in my defense, singular, basically said, because they talked to a bunch of like law professors, right?
Yeah.
In principle, this is good. In the details, this is going to be really, really messy. How in God's name are they going to properly compensate? You can go to NCAA on a cornhole scholarship, on a bowling scholarship, basketball, football, javelin.
Yeah.
How are you going to figure out the compensation level for all these athletes?
Yeah.
I always was of the mind, you go to college, you get a university education, and you play some sports while you're there. Unfortunately, that's not the reality, and it's a multi-billion-dollar franchise between college basketball and college football. It is massive. When you get 120,000 people or 90,000 people at a Texas Longhorns game, all paying money to see there, all buying jerseys, all buying, hot dogs and hamburgers. There's a lot of money out there. Yeah. And where's all the money going right now? Not to the athletes and not to the fellow students.
Yeah.
So I don't know. No one has the right answer to this. And this is
so just looking at here on this article here is it's they're moving with a multi-billion-dollar agreement to settle 3 pending federal antitrust cases.
Yeah.
The NCAA will pay more than $2.7 billion in damages over 10 years to past and current athletes.
Right.
So, and then certain parties have also agreed to a revenue sharing plan allowing each school to share up to roughly $20 million per year with its athletes.
Yeah.
So it's not a lot of money.
No, it's when you water it down. There's 80 guys on a football team, and there's the men's, the women's,
yeah. 20, and that's not just the football team gets 20 million.
Yeah,
that's the athletic program gets 20 million.
You're right.
So here they're getting a bit of cash to help them through, so they're not struggling, starving students and they work part-time jobs. They can focus on their studies and play football.
Yeah.
So you get these athletes that come in there and they're on full scholarship. Right, and all they have to do is play football,
or basketball,
and maybe show up to class once in a blue lip.
Yeah,
right. But you get other guys that are there that are athletes that want a degree. They're not going to go to the NBA. They're not going to go to the NFL.
Yeah,
they're working part-time jobs, right, to try and.
Well, here's the thing: they can't. When you get a scholarship, you can't work part-time.
But these are non-scholarship players too.
Oh yeah.
Non-scholarship players too.
Yeah.
So the idea is going to be that this money is going to be something that helps these guys while they're in school. Now, I don't know if I really agree with it, because if you get a scholarship, you're getting paid.
Yeah.
Your education's getting paid for you.
Hundreds of thousands. My son graduated from high school last year, and a young woman that he went to school with got a full 4-year ride hockey scholarship to Chappaquiddick. Quinnipiac. Sorry, it's in Long Island. Forgive me. It was just north of $400,000 scholarship.
Yeah.
Most private universities in the United States right now, all in tuition, everything, it'll cost you $100,000 to go there.
Exactly.
It is exorbitantly expensive to go to university in the United States of America.
Yeah.
A state college in Michigan, which is a dying state because all the manufacturing is in Mexico and China now.
Yeah.
State college is $15,000 a year in tuition.
Yeah.
If you don't get some full scholarship, you're in debt for the rest of your life. And the debt system coming out is terrible. You'll owe $60,000 when you graduate and $100,000 10 years later, because you have to go through a private student loan agency and all the hidden fees and the exorbitant interest rates.
Yeah.
And it's tantamount to financial slavery trying to get a degree in the United States. It is unconscionable how expensive it is.
We're not much better. I got a guy that I work with. He pays $350 a month towards his student loan.
Yeah.
And 56 of it, he said, goes against the principal.
I know.
It's disgusting.
If you need parents who can get your loan through a bank at the better interest rate, pay off that one. But it's a scam. It's so hard to do.
It's brutal.
And then the nice thing is, like, my son is now trying to be a butcher, and I was hoping he'd go to university, but I was able to get him a job with me at Johnston's in the summers 2 years before, and we had a little bit of money saved. So if he had wanted to go to university, he could have done it debt-free.
Right.
But he's living at home. He never spends any money. Yeah. And we had a little bit of money put away for him, plus he had a part-time job. You can do that.
Yeah.
But if you're living in Williams Lake, or if you're living in Vanderhoof, and there's no local university where you can stay home, you've got to go away.
Yeah.
And if you want to get a degree, it's like, wow, I really want to be a lawyer. I really want to be a doctor. You're on the hook for a lot of money. And it's not fair. And you can do it. You can tree plant. There's all sorts of jobs you can do to pay off your tuition. But, does everybody want to tree plant?
Yeah.
Does everybody want to toil? I mean, it's hard to do.
Yeah.
And minimum wage.
My one son went to UFV and the trades program.
Yeah.
Here at Chilliwack, and got the first year electrical.
Okay.
Towards his Red Seal. Yeah. And then he went to work after that, because he has to get hours work.
Yeah.
Your first year, now he's gone to school for second year, now he's going for third.
Yeah.
And that was nice, because the program that he went through was a grade 13.
Yeah.
Right. So the school, everything was paid for. There was grants for him. The tools were given to him. So he can get started. And there's a lot of programs like that do that. But if you want to go in and get a Bachelor of Arts, well, you give me your credit card. Yeah. Right. Like, and it's really, I think the way they're gearing it up now here, especially in the lower, I only know the lower mainland when it comes to the schools, is that if you're going to go into a trade where you're going to be contributing right away, we'll help you. We'll help you. If you want to go sit 4 years and lots of the history, the history of the computer, right, then forget about it. Yeah. Because I know with being an IT guy, there's a lot of little colleges where you can go in a year, they teach you the basics on how to troubleshoot, networking, that sort of stuff. And you go in the workforce. Yeah. Right. But if you want to get a 4-year IT degree, forget about it. You're paying for that. Yeah. Right. Or anything that's, and I think that's the way to do it. My stepson got graduated by COVID. Okay. He was scheduled to graduate in June. COVID hit in March, and he's sitting there, right? He's playing video games. I'm like, do you want to sit there? And we needed a guy at work in an entry-level position in the machine shop. Yeah. I said, do you want to sit there and play video games, or do you want to come earn money? And he goes, I'll come here. I want to earn money. Yeah. Right? I said, so come on. And now he's been there for 4 years now.
So do you do a degree, or did he?
No, he's graduated high school.
Oh, high school.
He graduated by high school. Yeah. And so he was thinking about going to be a teacher, a kinesiologist, right? Which is like, I get it. We need these things in life, but they're like the easy athlete way of doing things. Yeah. You're not really going to school for something useful. Yeah. So I said, you want to come work? So he came in there. He's worked at our saw bay, cutting the steel and whatnot. Yeah. And he learned the different machinery, and now he's working on CNC machines, and he's making parts. and they're going to send him to school. He'll get his red seal.
Yeah.
Right. And he's got a trade under his belt that he can work anywhere in the world and support himself and his family.
You're right.
I think it's a great.
It is. We know. I mean, I tried to get a business degree, and I'm a university guy. My dad went, my sisters went, and all that kind of thing. So I like education.
Yeah.
And if COVID taught us anything, and a lot of people disagree with this, is that we need thinkers out there.
Yeah.
Like too many people turn to Joe Rogan for advice on COVID, and we're listening to people like Dr. Bonnie Henry, who spent like 12 years in infectious disease. You need, and you know, at university can be some really great years.
Yeah.
They need to not really restructure how you pay for it, but just student loan thing, where you're not getting killed on interest rates and hidden fees and all that kind of stuff. You know, let me put it to this way. There's 3 kinds of debt out there: good debt, okay debt, and bad debt.
Yeah.
Bad debt is credit cards and lines of credit.
Yeah.
Just crap, right? Good or okay debt is something like you buy a car. Okay, it's to depreciate, okay, but you have an asset.
Yeah.
And that asset can help you go and get a job.
Yeah.
So it's important.
Useful.
And good debt are things like borrowing for your education, your house, and your investments.
Right.
Because over the course of your lifetime, you're getting all that money back.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, real estate does this and the stock market does this, but over 40 years, you're going to be fine.
Right.
So borrowing for your education is not a bad thing because it really does pay off over the long run. And during the booms, economic booms, there's always this debate: do I go to a 2-year technical program or do I do 4 years of a degree?
Right.
And everyone says, "Oh no, we need you in the workplace. You know, go to BCIT or Quadlin or whatever and come on to work." And every year, some, you know, political science or econ prof gets a little fed up of everyone telling him what I do for a living, when I teach for a living, it has no value.
Yeah.
So they'll sit down and they'll crunch the numbers, and they know. I crunch the numbers and like hardcore that the technical grad from the BCITs of the world make more money coming out of starting gate. 10 years later, their salaries start to stagnate a bit and the university grad starts to go higher up.
Right.
So it pays off in the long run. But the problem is when you come out of a philosophy degree, you can't spell barista without the BA.
Yeah.
And you put so much focus and energy into it. What am I going to do? And I knew a guy who worked with us. He had a Bachelor of Science from U of V, did the whole thing on scholarship, and he was just lost. He killed himself for 4 years to graduate on time, and he's like, what am I going to do? Well, right now, he's a welder. And I tell you, right now, he's going to own that company instead of just work for it, because he had that Bachelor of Science. So,
and I don't disagree with you. I mean, there's definitely things that we need in this world that people need to be educated about, and continuing education is the thing that I think there's a lot to, that we got to learn too.
You never stop learning.
But here, you know, if you get somebody that wants to be a nurse and they do all the qualifications of being a nurse, why are we charging them through the teeth and sticking them with student loans, right? We need them to take care of the people in the hospital. There's a shortage of those sort of things. Teachers is another one, right? We need good teachers. So maybe there needs to be a bit better vetting process to get them into these programs, but then support them through these programs.
Well, nursing is an anomaly because there's such a shortage for nurses. I lived in the North for a year, and I know this program still exists because I through the grapevine. If you're willing to suck it up and go up to Nunavut, or Fort McPherson in these really remote communities in the North, if you suck it up, in 5 years they'll pay off your student loans for you.
Yeah,
and that's for teaching. They need dentists, doctors, you know. So if you're willing to take that chance, and you're willing to make that investment, go off to some remote community, you'll be debt-free in 5 years. And I'm telling you, getting into a place you've never been before in the middle of nowhere is only going to build you as a person. Yeah. You're going to help build your perspective on people. So,
and I agree with you there. Yeah, 100%.
It's tough. University's tough. It's since, you know.
It is. But if they're willing to go in there, because these are people that we need, right? Yeah. Like people are going into criminology to be police officers. Yeah. Right? And not just police officers, but first responders dealing with mental health people. Yep. Yeah, all the different aspects.
Probation officers,
all the different aspects. They go into criminology, they're paying through the teeth, and they get out, and they're making a decent wage, but half of it's going back to pay for their schooling for it. But it's a role we need, where that guy can go and press a button on the CNC machine and make double the money.
I know.
You know?
I know.
What? You know?
But
Yeah, I think there needs to be.
You can start off with 70 grand as a cop, and you can retire at 150,000 as a cop with a pretty sick pension.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you know, it's you follow the career that you want to do. Right.
I get it.
Right. I mean, my son could make $26 an hour through a friend of ours with some installation company, but instead he's making $19 an hour training to be a butcher. And the reason is that's what he wants to do.
Yeah.
He likes doing it. It makes him happy. He's happy. He loves being at work with the guys and working with the pigs and all that kind of stuff. It makes him happy. Do what makes you happy. If you're studying philosophy and English lit really makes you happy, then go do it. And there's going to be sacrifices any way you turn. There's going to be a sacrifice.
Yeah.
And you know what? I wouldn't want to be a machinist, for God's sakes.
No.
But, you know, somebody wants to get their PhD and talk about Jane Austen for the next 40 years. Go do it.
Yep.
So,
I've ever since I was little, I've liked technology. I mean, I was lucky being a kid in the 80s, a teenager in the 80s.
Nintendo.
Well,
Atari.
Color 64.
Or 64, baby.
Yeah, I was the birth of them, you know. Pong. We had Pong in the 70s. Right?
Pong.
And I mean,
You showed a kid Pong today.
Yeah.
They would just be like, what in the hell?
So my mom and dad had friends who had kids about my age. And we go over there, they got Pong. And I'm like, oh, I'm really good at Pong. And they're like, yeah? Are you good with the small paddles? I'm like, the small paddles? They're like, yeah. They showed me, they opened it up, and there's a dial that you can make the paddles smaller.
Ooh.
Right? And I'm like, oh my goodness. At that point, when I realized I could open it up and improve it,
I could hack into the White House.
How is it?
Okay.
You know, and that's something that I've always loved throughout my life.
Yeah.
And the other thing I like is, well, obviously, you look at the size of me, I like to eat, right?
And we all be dead.
I love to cook, and I'm really good at it. That's why I'm fat, right? You know, a bad cook is skinny. Good cook is...
I am a pretty good cook. I make a mean ham. I make a great chicken casserole. I am a good cook. Okay? Comfort food.
I've seen pictures, and you do very well. Your baking's very good.
My baking's very good. Thank you.
Yeah. But so like I was like, gosh,
wrap up.
Oh yeah, okay. I got out of high school. I was gonna be a cook. I have psoriatic arthritis. Couldn't stay on my feet. 12 years. I was gonna be a chef.
Yeah.
12 hours a day. So they said, what else do you like? I said, well, I like computers. They did an aptitude test. They're like, you're in. But this is what I'm doing now, and I love it.
There you go. Happy guy. Okay.
All right.
Chase Claypool in Buffalo. We're all very excited about this. Of course, we're big Chase fans, being from the Valley.
Yeah.
He had a great start to his career. Things took a bit of a dip, and now he's landed in Buffalo. I was just so thrilled for this because he will fit into their... My feeling is he's going to fit into their offense, beautifully. It's going to be just great. And he had his first presser with the media at training camp, and we're going to let it run. And the maturity of this young man, how he's grown, is just remarkable.
Well, I really like this video. I really like this interview because the ownership that he took on how things have gone, right? And he's very honest about it. And the maturity that the growth that he's shown, you know, what he's willing to do to be part of it.
Yep.
You know, he talks about that in there, and I'm not going to spoil it all for you, but I was very impressed with the growth of him, with the way he handled himself in the interview, and at one point they talk about the wide receiver room there.
Yeah.
Because it emptied out, and everybody coming in there is on an even playing field to earn their spot.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that is very good for him. And if you listen to him talk here, the attitude and the effort level that he's going to put forth, it's going to pay dividends. And I'm very excited for Chase.
You know what? I'm going to say this right now. We're going to get Chase on. We're going to do an interview with Chase. I want to get him on.
We'll try. He's a busy guy. We'll try.
We'll try. We'll try. We'll do an interview. Okay. So let it roll. This is Chase Claypool, first presser in Buffalo. I'm super excited about his season coming up, and I'm praying to God things work out. He gets a multi-year contract.
It's an 8-minute video, so we're going to call it a day.
Yeah.
See you next week.
You know, that was a tough decision because they were a team that was interested, but not until after the draft. So kind of had to roll the dice and wait a little bit, and hopefully, there was a spot available, and it worked out. We knew this was going to be a great opportunity, and I'm happy it worked out.
Why do you think it's a great opportunity for you here?
Playing for, a guy like Josh Allen, and then run by a coach led by a team led by Coach McDermott. Is an amazing opportunity. McDermott, he's really family centered. Josh Allen, he's a real cool guy. Very serious at times, but also goofy. So that's nice. You can lock in, dial in, but then have a laugh with him. So it's really awesome. Yeah.
How do you feel? How much does coming from traditional winning programs such as Notre Dame, being drafted by Pittsburgh, winning program, to reignite that fire coming here to a winning program such as Buffalo?
100%. We've played Buffalo, I think, basically every year since I've been in the league, and they always get us, I feel like. So I'm happy to be honestly a part of this team because they do carry that winning culture, and I've experienced it on the other side of the ball. So now I'm really excited to be a part of it.
What's your mindset about where you are in your career and the opportunity here?
I just think Buffalo is really like a blue-collar place to be. When you come to Buffalo, it's all football all the time, and I really do like that, similar to Pittsburgh and places like Green Bay where there might not be too much going on, but that's completely fine. That's kind of what we do and what we get paid for. So Buffalo gives me an opportunity to work as hard as I can and make the people around me proud.
Chase, what do you think's led to you kind of bouncing around a little bit here the last couple of years?
Yeah, I just think there's changes that happen through organizations, and through my journey, things have changed, and sometimes things work well for you and sometimes they don't, but you just have to learn how to adjust and make the most out of a situation, never be too down, and just remind yourself why you do what you do, and keep working every day.
How do you push? Maybe what are you doing differently this time around at this spot?
I mean, there's inefficiencies in everyone's game, and you have to be able to realize those. I know my inefficiencies and things that I have to work on, and that's what I did a lot this offseason was kind of work on that, and I started that early. Since I didn't play too much last year, I was able to start my offseason a lot earlier and kind of get a head start, I felt like.
How do you push through, knowing the early splash that you made in the NFL, and now you're talking about, I didn't play much. How do you push through that, or what gets you motivated to push through that to prove that you're the guy that we saw early?
Yeah, no, it is tough, and I went from being a starter, playing every play, to going to Miami and really not playing at all. So it almost but made me realize my love for the game, because even though I was doing nothing that I wanted to do, or expected to do, special teams and stuff like that at the time, I realized how much I love football, because when I did get the opportunity to be out there, I loved it, even if that was kick return, kickoff. So it's really just making the most out of your situation and loving what you do. If I didn't love the game, that'd be easy to just fold. And so I just think since I love the game, it's cool as long as I get an opportunity to be out there. Yeah.
Chase, Coach McDermott said today he wasn't speaking for you, but his impression of you was that you are on a mission to reclaim what you once had.
Right.
What do you think of that comment? How would you describe why you're here?
No, I think it's very true. I think it is tough believing the player that you are or can be and falling short of those expectations, especially over the last 2 years for sure. It is a tough position because, I know there's times where it can be frustrating if I'm not living up to my potential, but if it's frustrating in the outside world, it's even more frustrating for me. I understand where I should be, and I understand that I haven't met those expectations, and that's why I work harder and harder every year so I can meet and exceed those expectations.
There's been a lot of turnover in this wide receiver group from last year to this year. Were you aware of that at all, and did that factor into your decision in terms of coming here?
Yeah, you always have a decent understanding of the wide receiver room, and waiting until after the draft kind of gave us a better understanding. But we saw the opportunity in terms of almost like a fresh start for all the guys in the room. So it's not like there's any preferences or favoritism or anything like that. Everyone gets a chance to compete and work, and play itself out in camp.
What has it been like? Just being here now, and I know you could do that long, through OTAs, what has you gathered about this organization, being here, being in that way?
Yeah, This is one of the most family-orientated buildings I've been in, and it's easy for coaches to talk about that, but to be about it is a completely different thing. Twice a week, 2 out of 4 days that we're here, we have a teammate come up and tell us about his story and where he came from, and it allows you to connect with your teammates on a deeper level, and it allows you to become more comfortable more quickly in this organization. And I think that's awesome because ever since I got here, I felt like family. So it was awesome.
Sean McDermott spoke.
You got things.
Thanks. Sean McDermott spoke about your willingness to participate in special teams. Why is that something you're willing to do on this team?
Yeah, I mean, I was back on special teams last year, and I realized how much I loved it, even if it's something maybe I didn't necessarily want to do at the time. Now I do want to do it. Like I love it. I think from my Notre Dame days, that's carried over. And for me, I'm not a person. I understand my situation. I understand like any opportunity I have to help the team win, I need to jump on that opportunity. So special teams is one of those things. And if I am on all 4 units, that's amazing because that means I'm helping the team in some way.
Chase, how are you different than the guy who came into the league 4 years ago? What do you learn? What's changed you that's made you different?
I've learned from all the mistakes. I feel like anytime you make a mistake or anytime you have mishaps, you have to learn from them. And if you learn from them, you grow from it. So I think that's what I've done. And, there's going to be good days and there's going to be bad days, but I think it's important to learn from the bad days and build on the good days and eventually, be in a spot that you want to be at.
How good did you feel making that play on Jamarcus Ingram over there in their corner?
It's cool. I mean, it's cool, but one play, it's nice, but you want to stack those. I think it's OTAs too early for that. In camp, I'll be more excited.
Were you talking representation of what you could bring and table up in this team, though?
Yeah, 100%. There's I think there's teams that can really know how to utilize big receivers and put them in positions to make plays, and I think this is one of the teams. So, you saw that a little bit the first 2 years in Pittsburgh. And I'm kind of seeing it now with how they have me working a little bit. So it's cool.
Well, you're outlining the Bill situation. It's a clean slate here. So how important, and it sounds like you needed a clean slate.
Right.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah. I mean, personally, in the buildings, I don't think it's ever been an issue. But in terms of like being a fresh start with a new perspective on who I am is awesome. And I know none of the guys kind of look at what's online because they know some of that is misleading. So I love how they just treat me like family right away, and I don't come in with any baggage from the outside world.
Well, you said you'll read the online stuff and all that, but something you're aware of it. Is it hard when you see yourself characterized as being a certain type of person or player?
Yeah,
by the outside world.
It's frustrating, especially when it's so far from the truth, I would say. But I'm not here to prove that I'm not what they say I am. I'm just here to be who I am and, be a part of the team. And I'm not trying to prove anyone wrong or right. I'm just being who I am. And it doesn't matter what the outside world says as long as my teammates know the kind of guy I am, the coaches do too.